Have you ever thought about what would happen if you had a heart attack while completely alone? It's a quiet fear that lives in the minds of many seniors, especially those who live independently. No one sees the signs, no one to call for help, and no time to wait. But the truth is, surviving a heart attack alone is possible, not by chance, but by knowing what to do in the first few minutes when every heartbeat matters. In today's video, we're going to walk through 7 life-saving steps, clear, simple, and effective actions you can take, even if you're by yourself. These steps are grounded in medical science and senior health wisdom. They don't require equipment, just awareness, preparation, and calm. You'll also hear true stories of older adults who lived alone and still survived because they acted at the right time. Stories of courage, clear thinking, and quiet strength. So stay with me to the end, and make sure you know these steps like second nature. If this message matters to you, please click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a simple comment like, "I'm here so I know you're watching." Your support helps us continue sharing knowledge that protects and empowers seniors. Let's begin. Number 1. Recognize the early warning signs. It doesn't begin with drama. There's no sudden collapse, no shouting for help. More often, a heart attack starts as something quiet, almost gentle, a feeling you can't quite explain. It might be a heaviness in your chest, not sharp pain, just something pressing there like a stone. Or a dull ache in your arm that feels more like tired muscles than a warning. Sometimes it's your breath that changes. You're sitting still, but it feels like you've just climbed a flight of stairs. And sometimes your body gives you small clues, like a cold sweat with no reason, or a strange pressure in your jaw or neck. These aren't the signs that make you panic. They're the ones you're tempted to brush off, but they're real, and they're trying to protect you. Margaret, 82, was one of those people who paid attention. She lives alone in a quiet cottage in Vermont and was enjoying her evening news like any other day. That night, though, she noticed a strange ache running down her left arm. It wasn't painful, just different. Then she started to feel warm, and a slight shortness of breath crept in. She could have told herself it was nothing, but something inside her said, "No, listen." She reached for her phone and called for help. The doctors told her later that her decision to act early likely saved her life. It wasn't luck. It was awareness. Many seniors don't realize that heart attacks rarely look like what we see in movies. There's no dramatic chest clutch or fall to the floor. The early signs can be so mild that they get mistaken for fatigue, indigestion, or anxiety. But time is everything when your heart is in distress, and ignoring the body's quiet signals can make the difference between a mild episode and something far worse. For women and older adults especially, the warning signs are often different. They might feel like pressure across the upper back or fatigue that doesn't match their activity. It could be a strange jaw tension or even lightheadedness that makes you pause. These symptoms are easy to dismiss, especially if you're used to pushing through discomfort or chalking things up to age. But your body is wiser than you think. It doesn't cry wolf. It speaks in low tones and careful hints, asking you to pay attention before it's too late. And the first step towards surviving a heart attack alone isn't strength or bravery. It's the quiet decision to take your own signals seriously. If you feel something that isn't right, stop. Don't argue with yourself. Don't try to walk it off. Don't tell yourself you're just tired. Sit down, reflect, and remember that your awareness, your willingness to act on a whisper might be the one thing standing between fear and survival. This is how many seniors find strength, not in resistance but in response. Recognizing the early warning signs is a kind of self-respect. It's not a weakness to listen, it's wisdom. Because in that quiet moment, when something inside tells you to act, you're not being paranoid, you're being prepared. And that choice can give your heart just enough time to keep beating strong. Number 2, call emergency services immediately. When something doesn't feel right, time is everything. That small voice inside you, the one that says this might be serious, isn't something to second guess. In that moment, the most important thing you can do is simple. Call 911, not your son, not your neighbor, not your friend. Call emergency services, because the longer you wait, the more your heart struggles. And for older adults, every passing minute could mean the difference between recovery and lasting damage. Many seniors hesitate. They worry they're overreacting. They don't want to make a fuss, but your heart doesn't care about appearances. It only cares about oxygen. And when a heart attack strikes, oxygen disappears quickly. What happens in the next 5 to 10 minutes can determine how much damage is done, how difficult your recovery will be, or if you recover at all. Harold, 76, lives alone in a small retirement apartment in Arizona. One morning, after tending to his plants, he felt a strange tightness near his sternum. Then came the nausea and a light sweat across his brow. He thought about calling his daughter, but instead he pressed the emergency button on his phone. 6 minutes later, the paramedics were at his door administering oxygen and preparing to stabilize him. Later, his cardiologist told him that just a 5-minute delay could have increased the heart damage by nearly half. What saved him wasn't luck, it was clarity, it was action. You don't need to be certain you're having a heart attack to call. In fact, paramedics would rather arrive and find you safe than come too late. Your life matters more than hesitation. If you live alone, it helps to make sure your phone is always within reach, whether that's beside your bed, in your pocket while walking, or even on a lanyard around your neck. Most smartphones today have emergency features you can use even if your screen is locked. Some allow you to press a side button 5 times quickly. Others let you hold down a combination. Learn it, practice it, make it instinct. And please, never try to drive yourself. You might think, I'll just get there faster. But that car ride could cost you your life or someone else's. When your heart is in distress, your body can fail without warning. You could lose consciousness. You could cause a crash. And worse, you delay the professional care that could stabilize you within moments. Calling 911 doesn't just bring transportation, it brings a team with tools, medication, and experience. They are trained to keep you alive on the way. They are trained to respond if your condition worsens before you arrive. You deserve that level of care. So the moment something feels off, don't negotiate with yourself. Don't wait for the symptoms to vanish. Don't wait until the next morning. Call. Trust your instinct. Trust that your life is worth acting for, because it is. And because help is only 3 digits away. Number 3. Unlock your door. It's such a small action that many seniors overlook it entirely. But when time is running out and your heart is struggling, unlocking your front door can be the difference between getting help in time or not at all. After calling 911, if your body still allows it, move carefully and unlock your door. Don't wait. Don't assume they'll find a way in. The truth is, emergency responders will break down the door if they have to. But every second they spend doing that is a second your heart doesn't have. For someone in crisis, those seconds are sacred. Dolores, 81, knew this. She lived alone in a cozy condo in Florida. One night she felt a tight pressure building across her chest, and a wave of dizziness swept over her. She called for help right away. Then, leaning on her cane, she made her way to the door and unlocked it. She didn't grab her purse. She didn't worry about being in her nightgown. She simply unlocked the barrier between her and the people coming to save her. When the EMTs arrived 6 minutes later, they were able to walk in and begin care immediately. No delay, no damage. One of them later told her, "That single action may have bought you the minutes we needed." Many seniors don't think about this in advance, but you should. If your front door is heavy or difficult to unlock, look at options that make it easier. If you live in a gated complex, make sure someone nearby, a trusted neighbor or a friend, has access. A secure lockbox with a code is an excellent backup. Even better, a smart lock that emergency services can open remotely could one day save your life. But all of this only matters if you think about it before the emergency happens. If the episode strikes when you're far from the door and too weak to move, don't push yourself. Stay seated. Focus on slowing your breathing and conserving energy. But if you're close, if you can walk even slowly, do it. Open the door and leave it unlocked. It's one less obstacle between you and life-saving care. It's one more way you can help yourself even in a moment of distress. Preparation is not panic. It's love in advance for yourself and for the people trying to help you. Something as simple as unlocking your door is an act of strength. It's a reminder that you are not helpless. You are part of the team that will save your life. Even when you feel vulnerable, you can take action. And when you do, you give your heart the precious gift of time. Number 4. Chew an aspirin. Sometimes the simplest action can buy you the most time. If you've just called for help and the symptoms point to a heart attack, and you know you're not allergic or taking blood thinners that could interfere, the next thing you should do is reach for a full-strength aspirin, one that's plain, not coated, and chew it slowly. Not swallow, chew. It may sound like a small step, but the science behind it is clear. Chewing allows the aspirin to get into your bloodstream faster. It gets absorbed through the soft tissues in your mouth, allowing it to start working right away. And what it does in those first few minutes can be life-changing. It thins the blood, slows clot growth, and gives your heart a fighting chance to stay alive until help arrives. Samuel, 70, understood this better than most. He lived alone on the outskirts of a small farming town in Kansas. One morning, while sitting quietly in his recliner, reading a devotional, he felt something odd. Not a sharp pain, but a slow burning sensation stretching from his chest to his throat. It was strange enough to make him pause. He reached for the small first aid box he kept near his chair, a habit he'd picked up from a health seminar at church. Inside was a single aspirin tablet, placed there months ago. He chewed it, as he dialed for help, trying to stay calm. Later, his cardiologist would tell him that a simple act may have saved the part of his heart most at risk. It didn't stop the heart attack, but it helped limit the damage. That's what aspirin does. It buys you time. And when you're alone, time is the most valuable thing you have. Many seniors keep aspirin in their kitchen cabinet or tucked away in a drawer, but in those crucial moments, searching might cost you too much. Think ahead. Place a couple of tablets somewhere easy to reach, by your bedside, in your purse, your wallet, even taped inside the phone case. Just make sure it's within arm's reach of where you spend most of your time, and make sure it's not expired. The goal here isn't to do something big, it's to do something smart, something that works. There are moments in life where being prepared doesn't mean having a lot, it means knowing what matters most. An aspirin tablet is small, but its impact is enormous. Chewing one during the first signs of a heart attack is a decision rooted in knowledge, in love for your own life, and in the quiet courage to act even when you're scared. It tells your body, I'm here, I'm doing what I can. And sometimes that's exactly what your heart needs to hear. Number 5, sit or lie down immediately. After calling 911 and chewing the aspirin, the next thing you must do is something that goes against the instinct many of us have carried for years. Stop. Stop moving. Sit down or lie down, whichever feels safest, and let your body begin the work of preserving what strength it has. When your heart is under strain, every small effort, standing, walking, even reaching, demands more oxygen, and that's the very thing your heart is running out of. Rest becomes not just helpful, but essential, and stillness is no longer laziness, it is protection. Frances, 79, from Northern California, was in the middle of tidying up her kitchen when she noticed a creeping pressure across her chest and shoulders. It was dull but persistent. Her first reaction was to finish wiping the counter, rinse the dish in her hand, and complete what she had started. But in that pause, a memory surfaced, something a nurse had told her in a wellness class a year earlier. If you think it's your heart, stop everything and sit. That single sentence cut through the noise of habit. She put the cloth down, eased herself into the recliner by the window, and focused on her breath. The pressure didn't vanish, but it didn't get worse. When the paramedics arrived, they told her her choice to stay still might have prevented a full collapse. For seniors, it's easy to fall into the mindset of pushing through discomfort. Many have lived lives filled with responsibility, motion, and resilience. But a heart attack calls for a different kind of strength, the strength to be still. Sitting in a supported position with your back upright and feet flat gives your heart the lowest demand possible. If you feel faint, lying on your side with your head slightly raised helps maintain circulation without adding pressure. And if you're already in a chair without good support, take a pillow or a rolled towel behind your back to keep yourself upright. Your posture in that moment matters more than you think. A slumped position can restrict your breathing. And right now, every breath counts. Don't feel guilty for pausing. Don't tell yourself you need to tidy up or call someone else. In that moment, the most powerful thing you can do is give your heart the space to keep going. Doing nothing isn't giving up. It's choosing wisely. It's trusting that your body, if given a chance, will hold on just long enough for help to arrive. You don't have to fight or force your way through a heart attack. Sometimes surviving means letting go of control, just enough to let your body do what it was made to do, survive. And you can support that process not by doing more, but by doing less, with intention and with care. Sit, breathe, stay still. It could be the quietest, bravest act of your life. Number 6. Use speakerphone and medical ID features. In a moment of crisis, even the weight of a phone can become too much. That's why, once you've called 911, it's important to switch to speakerphone. It frees your hands. It lets you lie back or sit still without worrying about holding a device to your ear. And more importantly, it allows the dispatcher to hear more than just your words. They can listen to your breath, the pauses in your voice, even the sounds around you that might signal your condition is worsening. That connection, uninterrupted and open, could mean faster decisions, better instructions, and a clearer picture of what you're going through. You may not realize it, but in those minutes between dialing and help arriving, your phone becomes more than a tool. It becomes your lifeline. That's something Leonard, 84, learned the hard way. He lives alone in a quiet neighborhood outside Tulsa. One afternoon, he felt a wave of pressure across his chest, followed by a sudden weakness in his arms. He used the emergency call feature on his iPhone and turned on speaker mode as he lowered himself into his armchair. He had just enough breath to explain what was happening, and then, before he could say more, he passed out. When the paramedics arrived moments later, they didn't waste time asking questions, because Leonard's medical ID was already set up. With a swipe on the lock screen, they saw his name, his age, the fact that he had a pacemaker and was taking blood thinners. That one step, something his son had helped him set up a year ago, spared him from a potentially dangerous medication. It took less than 5 minutes to do. It saved hours in the emergency room. If you haven't already, take a moment to explore your phone's emergency features. Most smartphones allow you to create a medical ID profile with essential details: your name, birthday, medical conditions, allergies, current medications, and emergency contacts. And all of it can be accessed without unlocking your device. That means even if you're unable to speak, your phone can still speak for you. And when every second counts, having that information visible is one of the most practical, powerful things you can do. Living alone doesn't mean being unprepared. In fact, it often means being more prepared, more mindful, more intentional. Setting up these features might feel technical or unnecessary now, but in a real emergency, they allow others to care for you quickly and safely. It's a quiet kind of preparation, done in the calm before any storm. And it's one more way you can take care of your future self. Because staying safe isn't always about doing more. It's often about planning wisely, making small decisions in advance that give others the tools to help you when it matters most. So take the time, use the tools, and remember, your voice matters even when you can't speak. Let your phone carry it when you need it most. Number 7. Slow your breathing to steady your heart. When you're alone and fear starts to rise, the most powerful thing you can do is also the simplest. Breathe. Not fast, not shallow, slowly, gently, with intention. In the middle of a heart attack, panic can take over quickly. Your thoughts race, your chest tightens, and your breath becomes short. But this panic isn't just emotional. It puts additional pressure on your heart, making an already dangerous situation even more unstable. Yet your breath is a tool you always carry with you, and when used mindfully, it becomes one of your best chances at staying steady until help arrives. Nina, 77, understood this from experience. She was alone in her apartment in Chicago when it happened. A sudden tightness in her chest, a wave of heat, and the unmistakable feeling that something was wrong. Her hands began to tremble. Her thoughts spiraled. But then something surfaced from memory. A simple breathing exercise her arthritis therapist had taught her years ago. She closed her eyes. She began to focus. In through the nose, pause. Out through the mouth, over and over slowly. Her heartbeat didn't return to normal, but it slowed just enough. The dizziness eased. The fear didn't vanish, but it softened. When the paramedics arrived, she was still conscious, still breathing, and still fighting. Breath won't reverse a heart attack. It won't dissolve a clot, but it can stop your body from spinning into shock. It can keep your nervous system from tipping over the edge. The calmer you are, the more oxygen your heart receives, and the better your body can hold on. Think of it like steadying a boat in rough waters. The storm may still rage, but by grounding yourself with each breath, you reduce the sway. You create a rhythm that your heart can follow, even as it struggles. If you've never practiced slow breathing before, it may feel unnatural at first, but it's worth trying, especially now while you're calm. Make it a part of your daily life, even for a few minutes a day, because the more familiar it becomes, the more instinctively your body will turn to it when it truly matters. Deep, slow breathing doesn't take strength. It takes presence, and that's something anyone can learn at any age. The act of breathing is the essence of life, but how you breathe in a crisis can shift the outcome. It is not a weakness to sit still and inhale with intention. It is not helplessness to hold a breath and let it go slowly. These are not passive acts, they are powerful choices. In the quiet space between inhale and exhale, your body finds stability, your heart finds support, and you find a way to keep going even when fear tells you otherwise. So in that moment, when everything feels uncertain, return to the one thing you can always control: your breath. Let it carry you until help arrives. Let it anchor you in hope. Surviving a heart attack alone after 60 isn't about luck. It's about awareness, preparation, and calm action. The 7 steps we've covered today, recognizing early signs, calling 911, unlocking your door, chewing, aspirin, resting your body, using your phone wisely, and steadying your breath, are simple but powerful tools. They give you control when everything feels uncertain. They offer your heart a better chance to keep going. And they remind you that even in solitude, you're not powerless. If you're a senior living independently, please take these steps seriously. Post them on your fridge, talk about them with your family, practice them before you need them. Because just one of these actions could save your life, or someone else's. And if you've already lived through an experience like this or have tips others might benefit from, we'd love to hear from you. Share your story in the comments below. It might help someone facing the same fear. Take good care of yourself, stay strong, stay prepared, and stay hopeful. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more life-saving health tips for seniors, and share this with someone you care about. Your support helps us reach others who need this wisdom.